Smart international travel tips, VAT refunds, why earlier is always better, and greeter services that may be the best option. I'm Andrea with A Glimpse of Good Travels, and I share all things travel so that you can travel well, travel light, and travel in your own kind of style. I have a pilot's perspective, means that we've been a pilot family for over 30 years, and so I bring my experience, my mistakes, so that you can travel better. Today, I wanted to talk about international travels. I know summer's winding down, but the airports are still really full. First thing is getting to the airport early. When they say 3 hours, we all dread having to go that early. However, it makes for a very stress-free travel day. We always go 3 hours early. Sometimes we're sitting there waiting, relaxing, grabbing a cup of coffee. Other times, we're very thankful that we went that early. You just never know how full the airports are going to be or what mishaps may happen. Prime example, in June, we were flying out of Rome, going to Sicily, and the airline we were using had kiosks lined up. Great, except only about 5 of them were usable. So the line snaked around forever. Very stressful. Thankfully, we got there early enough that we were able to make it to our gate with about 15-20 minutes to spare. But getting there 3 hours early is the thing that saved us. The second part of that would be your connections. When you connect through an airport, if you're not familiar with it, make sure that you download or at least look up on the airport's website to see the map of where you're going. Gates change all the time, so that's why I always recommend getting at least a 2-hour window with your connections. Paris, Charles de Gaulle Airport, London Heathrow Airport, Rome. The bigger airports internationally can be a zoo, and you may have to transfer terminals from flight to flight. So make sure that you do not squish too much time when you're changing flights so that you end up missing it. A good rule of thumb is at least 2 hours between your flights. Again, if you're sitting there waiting, you can at least relax and not stress, or try and sprint through the terminal to make that connection. Another reason to go early is if you have VAT forms, the tax-free duty forms that you have to submit before leaving the country, or you can also mail them in 21 days after your trip, but it's easier just to apply for them while you're at the airport. So giving yourself that extra time to get through security so that you can put in your VAT forms makes it much easier. We did this coming out of Italy. They use Global Blue, and it's all done through a kiosk. So you just want to make sure that you save those receipts, get them validated, and make sure you do it within the window. So as we were leaving Naples, you're only allowed to do this 2 hours before your flight departs. So we got there 3 hours early, got through security relatively quick, and we were too early to apply for our VAT. So I was going to mail it in, but it ended up, I just circled back around, used the kiosks, and applied for those through that time so I wouldn't have to mess with it and miss my window when I got back to mail it. Another way to make your check-in travels less stressful is to use a greeter service, which you can arrange through your hotel, or if you look online, Alpha Priority, you can use that one where they will take care of it, drive you right up to the front, get everything taken care of so you don't have to stress about it. Not a bad perk. It's not going to help with check-in, but if you do check your bags, make sure you use an AirTag if you're an Apple user. If you're an Android user, they have the smart tags, or I think it's called iTag Pro, maybe for the Androids. But putting these in your bags, checked bags or carry-on bags. I always have one in my carry-on bag and my personal item bag so that if you ever get separated from it, you can at least track it. Most airline or US airlines I know are able to connect with your tracking device now. You can allow access so that they can track that if your bag should be lost or delayed. Just a few quick, smart international travel tips to get you through your day easier, a little more stress-free, so that you can enjoy your trip or your travel way home. Hit subscribe if any of these tips were helpful, and you'll get notified each week when a new video drops. Happy travels.